Rudo. His true power isn't just about trash. It's about emotions, memory, and something divine buried deep inside him. He doesn't even know his real identity yet. So when he discovers the truth about the world, the heavens will no longer be safe from his revenge, as he's becoming the strongest cleaner in history. Our MC is special. We find out Rudo is the descendant of the Undertaker Canis from 200 years ago, and his father is called Alto Suribrek or Shawbrek, however you want to pronounce it, but this surname is very important, and by the way, it's basically Sibirus spelt backwards. Now Rudo's father is notorious in the heavens and in the world below, dubbed the Pit, but his ancestor from 200 years ago named Canis was one of the few people who could ascend up to the sphere from the ground without dying at the border. Rudo is a spherite born in the slums, where residents are labeled filths and treated as criminals by default. The upper class city sees them as dirty outsiders, blaming them for every crime and casting them into the pit without trial just for existing on the wrong side of society. Like, did you know? Generations ago, a large number of people from the surface left for the skies, and for decades, this group, who became known as the Sky People, dumped both their trash and criminals onto the surface, rendering it unlivable. Years later, like the people in heaven, they have forgotten that a surface even existed because the culture and times erased history, and they assumed that the pit or ground is just an endless darkness. So Rudo's entire purpose is to uncover the truth that is hidden under multiple layers of secrecy, with the first clue being his ancestor Canis that left him a letter. The last record of Canis was his will, in which he stated that he had failed to stop the humans, and all that he could do was bury them, referring to the Watchmen series. He then tells his children to live happy lives whilst he breaks the chain. So as you can tell, the truth is getting even more insane, because the actual situation is like when Minato sealed the Nine Tails into Naruto, hoping that one day he'd utilize its power to save the entire ninja world. Even the givers are scared of what he's becoming. But you're probably wondering, ABD, what exactly is a giver? Well, in Gachiakuta, vital instruments known as Jinki are powered by thought, a mysterious source of power on the surface. Just think of thought like chakra or nen. Now this thought accumulates over time, turning into energy, which creates a phenomena where objects are able to take in its power. One of these being the trash beasts. They come alive because of the power of thought accumulating and giving them energy from the trash thrown down from the sphere. However, givers are able to take a vital instrument, or in other words, an object very close to their heart, and turn it into a weapon to fight the trash beasts on the ground. This concept is known only by a few people on the sphere heaven, like Rudo's adoptive dad Rector, but on the surface, the general public knows all about this, and some look down on givers as dependents, as they obsess over a single item. So pretty much in this world, like believe it or not, those dudes with waifu pillows would actually be overpowered. Sleeping with that shit for decades and doing all sorts of stuff with it, it would actually make them a giver in this universe.
This is bullshit.
Now, it doesn't matter if you're a good or bad person. Anyone can become a giver. The biggest downside to being one is the fact that they only can use one vital instrument. Because of this, if you steal that instrument, it renders them powerless, and it's a sign of total disrespect. But now, let's be frank, Rudo's life is a certified L. Born to two murderers, raised in the slums, everyone thought he was gonna go full psycho. The only dude who ever cared was Rector, who gave him gloves to hide the burns on his hands that his parents caused. Then one day, Rudo's like, today's the day I ask out my crush. But nah, Rector gets killed in front of him. And guess who they blame? Him! Bro lost his foster dad, got rejected by the girl, executed, crash landed in a death zone, and then got sold like junk. At that point, bro, I'd be cooking revenge arcs in my sleep, waking up with fresh hatred.
This world shall know pain.
But to nobody's surprise, being sold off was a test orchestrated by Engine. He's the dude with all the aura, leader of RUDO'S group, and the guy that all the girls watching this anime are gonna simp for. Engine wanted to see if RUDO had the potential to become a giver, which is exactly what happened, as through his gloves, RUDO was able to transform the chains which bound him into a weapon. This led Engine, and by extension the rest of the cleaners, to believe RUDO'S power was the ability to turn anything he touches into a jinky vital instrument, completely, and I mean completely, breaking the laws that givers have lived by for decades. So after awakening his powers, RUDO joins the cleaners, wanting to find some way back up to the sphere to slaughter all those who wronged him, including the masked man we know as the Angel, who can travel between the two worlds. Because RUDO is from a special bloodline and has insanely powerful gloves, he is a prime target for multiple organizations on the ground, including the Raiders, a group of evil givers who plan to destroy the sphere. They want RUDO to join their cause due to his knowledge of heaven and also the gloves he carries. It's during his first encounter with the Raiders where RUDO meets Jabba, and by the way, this dude, he was busting nuts from getting hurt. This guy completely pushes RUDO over the edge, hurting his newfound friends with his poison claws, and in a moment of pure rage, RUDO takes the lucky charm held by Gris and transforms it into a jinky that looks like this. As a result, it turns the tide of the fight, as this lucky charm forcefully shifts RUDO out of the original attack line, replacing his position automatically. Jabba retreats, and the true nature of RUDO'S powers are determined. It's not turning anything he touches into a vital instrument, but it's to bring out the value of anything he touches to its fullest according to his imagination or intent. So in the fight against Jabba, Gris prayed for their safety and return, and then RUDO'S feelings was to protect his friends as Jabba was just too strong. So the lucky charm automatically detected what they wanted and created a power that would enact what RUDO desired. But this is like only the start of RUDO'S true power and why he's so strong. Because in truth,